Welcome back, everyone. So today we're going to be taking a look at some of the terms that you might encounter when first diving into photographic equipment. This is going to be in respect to camera type. So if you're not too sure on what an SLR is or a DSLR is, this video is going to be for you. We'll also go into the different photographic mediums and their sizes and what that means, and we'll touch briefly on what a mirrorless camera is. So if you're interested, stick around. Let's get into the video. All right, so here we have two different cameras. They are both Rebels, but they're from different time periods. The one on the left is an SLR. The one on the right is a DSLR. SLR simply stands for single lens reflex. DSLR stands for digital single lens reflex. All right, so now let's get some obvious points out of the way. The SLR uses 35mm film. The DSLR uses SD cards or compact flash. The DSLR will let you take a photo and review the photo right away. With the SLR, well, you just kind of have to use your imagination. So let's see what's actually going on. Every time you hit the shutter button on an SLR, there's a mirror inside that flips up and out of the way. This mirror is responsible for taking the image that the lens is pointed at and reflects it up and into the viewfinder. So what makes a DSLR different? Well, let's take a look. Inside, you'll notice that the DSLR also has a mirror, but in this case, the mirror is a lot smaller. That is because it has a smaller frame size. Both cameras are using the same method of allowing you to preview the image before taking the photo by using this mirror to reflect the image into the viewfinder. But the frame sizes are different because the one on the left is a 35mm full frame camera, and the one on the right is an APS-C or crop frame camera. Okay, now let's look at some key points to both. The SLR uses a 35mm frame of film to record the image. It is full frame. Lenses are their actual focal length. I'll get into this a little bit later. Can be more flexible in low light when using wide aperture primes. Bokeh can appear more pleasing. Some key points to a DSLR is that they use CMOS or CCD sensors. They are available in both full frame and APS-C. Lens focal length changes depending on the sensor size. Setting changes are more flexible, such as ISO, white balance, and picture styles, which you can change while shooting, and you can get your photos quickly. Alright, so now what did I mean about lenses being their actual focal length? Let's take a 50mm lens and put it on an SLR. That 50mm lens will be a 50mm lens. So now let's take that same 50mm lens and put it on the APS-C DSLR. Now that 50mm lens will act like an 80mm lens, and this is due to the smaller frame. This is what's known as a crop factor. So now this combination would give you the 80mm equivalent on a full frame camera. Alright, so now you might be wondering, why are there different frame sizes? Well, let's get into that. APS-C, or Advanced Photosystem Type C, is found in most consumer-level DSLRs and certain compact film cameras. It became a popular film format in the 1990s, but was not able to replace 35mm film. It lives on as a digital format. 35mm, also known as full frame, is found in most film SLRs and high-end DSLRs. It gained great popularity during the 1940s to late 1990s, becoming the standard film format. The DSLR will have certain advantages, such as being able to customize your picture styles, being able to change the white balance depending on the lighting situation. If you dive deeper into the menu, you can have the camera shoot in RAW or RAW plus JPEG, giving you options when editing your photos. And you can even select the color space in which you'll be working with. Besides that, the SLR and the DSLR work in the same manner. Alright, so now let's talk about one more format size, and that is 120 or medium format. This is found most in specialty photographic equipment and was widely available until around the 1970s when 35mm became the dominant format. Okay, so now let's look at another camera. This is a TLR, or twin lens reflex. This uses medium format film, and as you can see, it has two lenses, hence the name twin lens reflex. The top lens is for viewing and composing your image. The bottom lens is for taking the photo. Now you understand why the SLR is called a single lens reflex. An interesting point about these cameras is that when you use their waist level viewfinder to compose your image, you'll notice that the image is flipped horizontally, and also it moves in the opposite direction. This is due to the design of the TLR. On the other hand, when you look through the viewfinder on an SLR, the same lens that you're using to compose your image is the same lens that will be taking the photo. Okay, so then what is a mirrorless camera? It is simply a modern camera system that no longer uses a mirror. Instead, it uses a live feed from the sensor, displaying it on a tiny screen in the viewfinder. I currently don't own a mirrorless, but I can show you an example of how it works. Switching this DSLR into live view mode flips the mirror up and out of the way. Now you are seeing what the sensor is seeing through the lens. This is in essence how a mirrorless camera functions. The sound you just heard is the mirror flipping back down. With that in mind, you can use any format to achieve your photographic vision. It's just how photography evolved over the years to become more portable and accessible. They all essentially do the same thing, which is take photos. As the camera's popularity increased, certain size formats became more prevalent, giving you the ability to choose what camera and format works best with your style of photography. Okay, so hopefully that all made sense and helped you get a better understanding on some of the terms that you might hear when learning about different cameras. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. I'll do my best to answer. And if you appreciate content like this, let me know by hitting the thumbs up button. It really helps out this channel. Also, if you're into learning about legacy camera gear, check out some of the videos that pop up next and consider subscribing. Alright, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.